Hello and welcome to another video. This will be pretty much a state of the channel vlog. We haven't done one for a while. I have a lot of people that follow me, rely on me for collaborations, community things, projects, and probably want to know what exactly is going on after quite a bit has occurred and a lot of relationships and things have changed. So pretty much I'm not really looking for any pity or fishing for comments or whatnot and support. Don't really want to see that sort of content. What has occurred is completely my fault, my issue, and I'm more or less going out to fix it and resolve it and carry on with the channel as I've been doing for the past several years. So quite a bit of this is going to be in a negative tone as a lot has happened. There is also some positive points and things to look forward to that will be mentioned. I'll make this as quick as humanly possible. First, the Canon camera that I use to film the talking, moving elements of my videos have malfunctioned and broken. The tripod tripped over when I've tripped over my home animal and it's shattered. Another one has been ordered. I still do not intend to upgrade to high definition or change much, as a lot of my hardware editing and process of creating the videos has not been upgraded or changed. That's going to take quite a bit of capital and time to do. So another camera has been sourced, bought and waiting to be shipped. That is very, very similar in operation, output and era that it came out. I am also no longer associated with the Gunpla Builders Australia group, Hobbyco, Bandai, so a lot of those events and communities I've withdrawn out of. This is not really anything to do with Hobbyco or Scott, the founder and administrator of everything. Great guys, great shop, doing a fantastic job. It is a wonderful community. Unfortunately, I have some ongoing issues, various different ones with different groups of people. Unfortunately, one of them, or a small group of them, who has been continually undermining my personal projects, as well as unfortunately blackmailing me through a family member's circumstances. There is a risk of personal information being doxed, and I'm choosing to exit from the entirety of the Australian community and carrying on with only YouTube work to an international audience. I will not be attending any public events such as the Gunpla Builders World Cup or entering a lot of large cons that are going to have workshops or anything flying the Gunpla Builders or any of the other club banners, meetings, groups, any of that sort of thing. I'm pretty much being banned from, or will be stirring too much issues for myself or the people attending them. So a lot of my content reporting on events and that sort of thing is going to change. I will not be doing anything other than Model Expo, as it's quite large, and under the IPMS it incorporates many sections and many groups, so there'll be enough space not to bump into anyone. I've also have had businesses contacted and people trying to find out my whereabouts and pretty much spinning stories about being a thief or other things to cut sponsorship and whatnot. The situation is completely embarrassing. I'm doing my best to resolve it. I've tried to keep it under wraps and private for a very long time, but another incident has become very public, and we're going to talk about the next dot point. Facebook. My personal Facebook account has been compromised and flagged by multiple directions in one hit, targeting probably mostly older posts, public, mostly of a modelling nature, none of my private personal stuff. The Facebook has been permanently blocked and deleted by them, and after appealing will not be unlocked again ever. Unfortunately, what that has done is the Mokanaman page, my business page, as well as other contributions in groups and pages and whatnot through my other hobbies, interests and community output has all been deleted and lost. I have started a new profile, a new Mokanaman page. There's nothing on that. I have been fortunate and smart enough to back up absolutely everything. Probably the more better content is going to be re-uploaded and archived. The lesser and older stuff will be put up at a much later date. Though this is going to be a very, very long process. It is unfortunate there are people out there trying to disrupt that, though it is what it is. So we're looking at about 6,000 to 8,000 photos, posts, shares, contributions, all that sort of stuff. There has been some information, contacts, private messages and whatnot I've had, as well as the whole audience base and some customers, a part of my business that's been lost forever. So this process and blow has been huge on me and has set back the channel quite a bit. I've never actually had something like this ever occur to my public modelling as well as YouTube career. It has been very, very difficult to deal with. As soon as I started my new account, before I was able to friend and block people and whatnot, that has also been flagged, and I am unable to post outside of my profile and contribute or have anything to do with groups for a period of 1 month. Now, Facebook has no real customer service or contact to appeal, organise, arrange things if it's lost or whatnot, unless you're a verified account or you spend a lot of money in advertisements, which I do not do. The whole thing about being zucked, adult content, political content, things that can be quite fragile, can undermine a page as well as a personal account very, very quickly. I have learnt from this process and digging through building a new page and whatnot. Things can be backed up, downloaded and re-uploaded pretty much immediately with all the organisation and tags and descriptions and whatnot. As well as if you have multiple people administrating and looking after an account, it could be looked after if my personal page goes down again. All of the public pages like the Mokanaman and whatnot will remain up. So I'm going to be looking into getting those processes in place so that does not happen again. Now YouTube does have a better flagging system and strike system and whatnot. Nothing has occurred on that front in the way of flagging or content interrupting or whatnot, though they seem to be a far more liberal platform. And the content on there is definitely very, very safe, copyright free, nothing adult and whatnot. And normally when I have gotten auto flagged in the past due to my connections to YouTube, they're resolved very, very quickly. I do think I do have someone from them watching me or looking after me or something, which is fantastic, not being a partnered account or having a partnership when you have a YouTube network looking after you and representing you. I'm still not going to be doing any of that. It is very, very safe, though. In the event that YouTube is taken down, under no circumstances I'm going to be really interested, motivated or have any cause to rebuild it, as any prospect of a public face or audience would be completely dead. And competing in the new field would be pointless, as there's a lot of tutorial building channels and whatnot. I'll allow my colleagues to take over in that regards. So all of that done and said, I'm going to do my very best to rebuild and most importantly diversify my content on various platforms to build multiple audiences, and if I'm affected in one thing I can deploy the other one to rebuild. This will be a very long process that will take in the many months to even potential years, and to repopulate Facebook I'm not going to reach those numbers again for an extended amount of time, if not ever. I had an intended fundraiser that I was going to run for a very, very large project. This was to be the sale of my older work that has been shown in YouTube profiles, all that sort of thing. And I also was going to do a hobby tool loot box. I was looking to fundraise between $2,000 to buy material and machinery to start manufacturing my own garage products and castings of original designed items, being basic vintage style model kits and aftermarket parts. There's going to be a big announcement about that, though unfortunately I don't have a platform to sell at the moment, as well as fundraise and market besides YouTube, which is very inefficient, and something like Kickstarter or whatnot takes a lot of time and resources to promote, build up and whatnot. It's almost a job within itself with a high likely ratio of failing. I have been working on another project which is a business, and I fundraised the majority of the money for this serious machinery myself. I just need to top it up so I could start production this year without going in my own pocket, as I've just unloaded some very large expenditure purchasing a house and getting a mortgage, which means this studio and everything is going to move in a period of time, be dismantled and reset up with a new studio and whatnot, and that will be incorporated with my business and probably even a potential shop front and whatnot. All of that is the very far future, if any of this actually does come up. So I'm monitoring all these situations. If the flagging and whatnot calms down, stops, and I'm able to rebuild, I'll carry on with that. If it doesn't, it will unfortunately have to be abandoned. So I don't want to be accepting money, selling things, fundraising for it to fall over and accused of doing a rort for personal purposes, of not delivering on my promises. And this is the situation that I'm sitting on the verge of something very big, that the people who are doing this are aware that I'm doing something like this, if they are behind the attacks or not. It is what it is. It's all very unfortunate. One of the first platforms I am diversifying for is Pinterest. I'll put a link down below, as well as the new Facebook page. My private page is going to be more associated with modelling and networking with other modellers, and I will use that to post around in groups and whatnot. You will be able to tag me in things under the Mokanaman. Now getting into some new good news, besides those two links will be in the description below. I have some new sponsors. First we have Best Gear. This is a very, very large online company store, web store that sells tools, toys, clothing, appeal, all sorts of things. They approached me and they do most of their marketing through social media and channels like this and whatnot, selling particular tools and products. They've sent me this very lovely USB laser cutter, which I believe will be good for cutting up masks, making signs, and potentially even maybe cutting thin styrene, or at least making an etch in it deep enough that you can break it yourself with your fingers. I'm starting to film the unboxing video of that, and we'll do a series of tests and whatnot. This will be under the 3D printing aspect of my content, and using it for scale modelling. This form of 3D printing, because you're merely cutting raw materials, should fall under the jurisdiction of the Gunpla Builders World Cup and other competitions that ban 3D printing, as you're cutting materials and sticking it together and gluing for the purpose of scratch building, and not so much getting an existing item and having it printed wholesale to be processed and painted. Now, I have my business, I've mentioned a few times in this video, is called the Salt Mine Hobby Shop. It is going to be an extension to the Mokanaman branding and the Mokanaman studio. It is a small corner page that I have where I've been selling second-hand kits, normally of the rare nature, liquidating very cheap kits and selling a lot of not quite right products, such as models with missing parts, built models, bags of parts, that sort of thing. The design of it is a toy recycler, as well as sourcing tools and whatnot. I've been servicing a number of modelers in Australia, and the feedback has been overly quite positive. I'm going to start selling the tool elements to international markets fairly soon, so that would be the time to at least have a perusal and look if you're obliged. There is no sales point or anything. I will be heading more into the shilling side of things, though a lot of that is not going to be a feature in my channel. Reviews, tutorials, all that is going to be as normal, but there'll probably be a video once every few months talking about products and stuff, which goes into what I was fundraising for, designing, manufacturing my own products. Obviously they will need to be reviewed, and they will be reviewed on a shilling video segment, which you can opt out, not watch, and have absolutely nothing to be involved with it. If you are interested, I'm going to be selling very cool, almost Kodabakir-like style parts that can be applied to science fiction subjects, scratch building, gunpla, and I've got all sorts of ideas and pen down and drafting my own model kits. None of this is going to be resin. It will be styrene, so you can chop up, glue to your projects. Very, very exciting. I'm getting an actual proper molding machine. I'm getting molds tooled and milled. Everything is my own design. I'm cutting it all up, arranging for the molds to be rapid prototyped, CNC'd and whatnot, and then I'll be pretty much injecting and boxing all of my own stuff to retail. So I will be keeping an eye out for others to receive freebies, sponsored and whatnot, to review it and create content and use it in your work that you're sharing online very generously. Though if anyone out there that has business contacts, wholesaling is something I'm going to be doing, and seeing the products spread overseas. I think this would be an amazing way to gel and do a project with everyone watching who are active modelers, instead of making cups and t-shirts and stuff like that. Utilising aftermarket parts to glue on custom projects, diorama pieces, model kits to build, paint, and seeing other people's take on it is going to be the coolest thing. It's been a dream for a very long time to create, sell, market my own products, and I've been spending all these many years researching, building up, collecting skills and whatnot, starting with when I had 3D printing appear on this channel. I thought I could just 3D print kits, but that didn't work out too well, though it led from one thing to another. So this has been in the works for well over 5 years. I'm very excited to have all of this take off, if it can happen, if it doesn't fall over, and if it does, hey, at least I've tried. So it's the Salt Mine Hobby Shop, and it'll be the Salt Mine branded of kits and supplies. Talking about events, Model Expo, the Australian Open model competition, I have booked a booth, a full retail booth of 4 tables that I'm going to be selling there. A number of kits, third-party Gundam stuff, a lot of exciting things. I'll mention something about that later on in the video. I will not have any of my stuff ready for that. It probably won't be till the end of the year. Worst case scenario next year, until something or the first line is released. Though I will have my full spectre of tools, many of them that I've reviewed here. A lot of it that I endorse, airbrush parts, airbrushes, those mini 12 volt compressors. I'm very excited about it. I've been trading the salt mines for almost 2 years, and I've been selling and toy recycling for longer than that. And I've done many events, swap and sells, small community events and all that, trading with a stall, toy trading events, and it's been doing very well. It's supplementing my income, and it's something I want to do part-time, and eventually in the future a full-time thing of a model kit manufacturer. I think it's probably the most amazing thing possible that a YouTuber, a hobbyist and a modeler can do, and I really hope when I have full model kits coming out, you guys will love it, build it, and there will be a following of people who will consume the product, not so much to live off it, but see what people do with it artistically and creatively, and just grow as someone who designs and manufacture actual kits. A big project I'm working on modelling wise to be reviewed that people would have seen on YouTube before that, Facebook, before that collapsed, is my 72nd resin vintage Victory Gundam. I'm looking at it right now. There's a touch of weathering to do. I've put a clear coat. It is almost finished. I reckon in a few weeks time I'll start filming the video. So unfortunately you guys won't see it for a few months, as I normally post pictures on Facebook. You see that, and the videos much later. I have a backlog of pre-made videos and they're scheduled to go up. So a batch of videos are made and they just slowly come out. Due to everything that's happened in the community, from the negative aspects of parting way with the Australian scene, I'm not really participating with any form of promotional activities, events, workshops of Bandai products. And since I've walked away from that, I'm not an ambassador anymore or have anything to do with it. I am considering dabbling with third-party kits, originally made kits and all that sort of thing, looking at it, buying it, building it, trading it, all that sort of thing. So that would be a new aspect of this channel. When you have a disadvantage and a drama occur, you look at reaping the benefits and the advantages. And having an eye and keeping an eye out on the community and the popularity and all that, and third party and bootleg kits are a huge thing, as well as intellectually stolen kits. Some of them are just really cool, and I've always wanted to really dig my teeth into them. And being an absolute free agent now, to do whatever I please, it's something I'm definitely going to jump on. I bought the mass production Q Ballet kit. I think it was Supernova or something. It's sitting in my roof. I'm going to have a crack at that. Talking about that, last year's Gunpla Builders World Cup entry has been built, finished, has been severely damaged. I've restored it and put it together to the best of my ability. About 70-80% of happy with it. They haven't released any pictures. It is publicly displayed at Gundams Plus in Camberwell, Melbourne, Australia. If there is a call for it, I'll mix a video and show it off, as well as post pictures. But I just don't really... it's still a bit of a bad taste, a sour note to me, so I'm not ready to do that. Though if you guys are interested enough to see it, I'll eventually make a video. If no one really cares, it will just go and be forgotten and left as just being an open work in progress. Yes. I will be attempting to stream on Twitch again. I'm going to try this week. I want to make it a weekly thing, and again, it's a part of the diversifying my content and what I do online, building audiences in various places. If one thing collapses, it's not as devastating as what's occurring now. So links down below to my Twitch account, follow it or whatever you have to do, and I'd like to be on it for a few hours once a week and then see how we go with that. I think it'd be a lot of fun with people asking questions in the comments, interacting, and quickly pulling, live tutorials or show-offs right on the spot at the time, and tackling difficult things, vintage stuff, showing things off, resin, scratch building. It's just, it's an infinite possibility, and running at the lip, even bringing in guests. I'm talking to a hobby shop and we're looking at a 24-hour stream challenge build thing, which I think would be a lot of fun. Don't quote me that yet, but that's in the works. And filming a challenge with multiple people over a long period of time in a retail area when the shop's open and closed, I think would just be absolutely fun content. Now, just the last description and whatnot. I cannot keep any promises. I've made concepts and whatnot. The tutorial series that I promised, the last few things, update stated address vlogs, is still on the cards. I'm still making Gundam mech model workshop videos, which are pseudo tutorials. I'm going to make one from scratch that's removing things off the sprue and just moving on, that people can watch a playlist of videos and go from the absolute start and work their way on. At the moment, my content has been jumbled, and it's been like that for many years, but it's about time that it's relaunched as a new tutorial series. It's something that is I need to do, but there's other things that are taking priority precedence. Everything mentioned in this video, eventually I will start selling things and whatnot. My work will be on offer. If there's interest, that'd be awesome and people will be very happy. I am not going to e-beg. If there is no interest, it'll be withdrawn and we'll forget that it's ever occurred. But if none of this occurs, if it all falls apart due to flagging again, I do apologise. I really would like to stay on YouTube. I would like to keep this channel. I would like to continue the work that I've been doing. Though if there's that much of a drive that people want me off the internet, there's nothing I can do regarding that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for your long-term support commenting. I know a lot of you guys don't comment because, you know, smartphones and tablets and consoles and all that, but you are watching. I'm aware of it. I'm very appreciative. It gives me a drive to stay in the hobby and to make videos and contribute and whatnot. Though it's just unfortunate that other people on the internet have a right to, you know, carry on with their activities and doing their own thing and protesting and putting out their work in public speech and whatnot. And if there is a demand of it, things will happen as they do. Thank you very much. Catch you guys next time. Hope you're excited about my projects, and we will see how things carry on to this day. Catch you guys next time.